Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today for Tuesday, I thought we'd take a look at the Gospel according to St. Mark, which is the second lesson at morning prayer. And Jesus, one of the nice things about Mark's gospel is that it's kind of right to the point. Remember, we have 4 gospel accounts. They're written by 4 different people that kind of encompass 4 different points of view of the same event that is happening, and that is, of course, the life and ministry of Jesus Christ. Mark's gospel is believed to be the one that is written as told by Peter, right, the simple fisherman, and is the one that contains the least amount of kind of flowery detail that just kind of gets right to the fact, kind of like we kind of expect St. Peter was. Whereas John, who's writing his gospel last, is one who's had time to pray and to meditate and to see how the words of the gospel given orally have affected the community. And so he's able to write a bit more theologically as well as historically about the mission and ministry of Jesus Christ. So anyway, here we're in chapter number 8, verses 11 through 26. And in a relatively short amount of lesson, in one particular lesson, we have several different things going on here. And the Pharisees came forth and began to question with him, seeking of him a sign from heaven, tempting him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and saith, Why doth this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation. And he left them, and entering into the ship again departed to the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them any more than one loaf. And he charged them, saying, Take heed. Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have no bread. And when Jesus knew it, he said unto them, Why reason ye because we have no bread? Perceive ye not, neither understand? Have ye your heart yet hardened? Having eyes, see ye not, and having ears, hear ye not? And do ye not remember? Then I break the 5 loaves among 5,000. How many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they say unto him, 12. And when the seven among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said, 7. And he said unto them, How is it that ye do not understand? And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring him a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes, and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up, and he said, I see men as trees walking. After that, he put his hands upon his eyes and made him look up. And he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, Neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town. Okay, so I always find the don't tell anybody parts of the gospel to be troubling. And there's been lots of scholars who have postulated on why it is that Jesus tells people not to tell anyone. We know in a lot of the cases, as soon as Jesus tells them, don't tell them, they go right out and tell people. And I think that would be a natural reaction if you've had something as miraculous as I am healed. You were blind and now you see. Yeah, people are going to notice this. In this particular case, he tells them not to tell anybody in the town. And he's obviously been dealing with people in the town who have heart of heart, and they're just going to end up giving him a hard time. So he doesn't say, don't tell anybody at all. Just, go home. And then, of course, once you get there, people there will know, and they'll love you, and they will be excited about this. But it's interesting because Jesus, having had this confrontation with the Pharisees at the beginning of the lesson, tells them, look, I'm not giving you a sign. He's not a magic trickster who does things like parlor tricks, okay? He's not going to give them a sign. And yet there are plenty of other signs he goes on to talk about when he says to them, watch out for the leaven of the Pharisees and of Herod. What he means is their poisonous teaching. But they're thinking he's still talking about bread because he fed all these groups of people with bread, and they were just talking about, we only got 1 loaf of bread. Jesus is like, you don't get it. You guys, you're not quite there yet. In other words, first of all, don't worry about, give us this day our daily bread. Jesus is there. He's going to take care of that. And they should know that by the evidence, right? But also, he's talking about the bigger picture about faith and salvation, and their hearts are too narrowly focused on minimal things, on earthly things. And so Jesus has to rebuke them about that as well. So today is Tuesday. Again, I am away for the week, so these are being pre-recorded, so there'll be no public worship at St. John's, but I do hope that you will be saying your prayers this week. And may God bless you this Tuesday.